It's about giving up that readily available cash.
Okay, that definitely shifts the focus. And then there's animal spirits. That sounds less like economics and more like psychology.
Well, that was another major contribution. Keynes brought psychology right into it. He recognized that investment decisions aren't always purely rational calculations.
So animal spirits is about gut feelings, confidence.
Exactly. That sort of innate optimism or pessimism that drives investors. These waves of confidence or doubt can fuel booms or busts, sometimes quite separate from the fundamental economic data.
Which leads to maybe his most controversial idea, at least back then,
Hmm.
involuntary unemployment.
Right. He argued that you can have people who are perfectly willing and able to work at the current wage, but they simply can't find a job.
Because there just isn't enough demand overall.
Precisely. Not enough aggregate demand to justify hiring them. This flew in the face of the classical idea that unemployment was mostly voluntary or just friction, like people switching jobs.
And he mentioned sticky wages and prices, too, that they don't adjust downwards easily.
hmm That was part of it. If wages don't fall quickly during a downturn, it hinders the labor market's ability to sort of self-correct back to full employment, reinforcing the need for demand-side solutions.
So, pulling it all together, his main policy advice was what government needs to step in.
Yes, especially using fiscal policy, adjusting government spending and taxes to manage that aggregate demand. He argued for deficit spending during recessions to boost demand and get people back to work.
More so than just relying on, say, tweaking interest rates.
He thought monetary policy could be less effective, especially if you hit a liquidity trap where interest rates are already super low, and lowering them further doesn't actually encourage much more investment or spending.
Okay, so let's recap the big aha moments for listeners. It's really about the power of aggregate demand.
Uh-huh. And how spending multiplies through the economy.
Plus the idea that psychology, those animal spirits, really matters.
And crucially, the concept that unemployment can be involuntary, meaning government action might be needed.
And these ideas had a huge impact, didn't they? The whole Keynesian revolution.
Absolutely. Post-World War II, these ideas heavily influenced government policy in many Western countries. Now, there were criticisms later about inflation and debt for sure.
But they haven't gone away entirely.
Not at all. You saw a big resurgence of interest in Keynesian thinking after the 2008 financial crisis. It suggests his insights about deep downturns are still pretty relevant.
So a final thought to leave everyone with. If psychology, these animal spirits, plays such a big part, how might understanding or even influencing that confidence become more central to how we manage economies, or even how we make our own financial choices?
That's a great question. It pushes us beyond simple models, doesn't it? Into that complex zone where economics meets human behavior. Something definitely worth thinking about.